What's up, beautiful people of the world? Welcome back to the Expression of Love podcast, and welcome back to Become Your Own Breakthrough. I'm on the receiving end of censorship for, I would say, for the first time in a very real way, because you get the violations before you're actually put in censorship jail. My account has not been banned, permanently banned, but I have been put in 3-day no posting, commenting, or messaging jail on my TikTok account. Now, my Instagram account, for some reason, trying to build an account on Instagram was and has been like always very difficult for me. For some reason, I just couldn't do it. But on TikTok, I found some success, not only in like from October to now did I, gain over 1,400 followers from October 10th to now. Now is November 16th that I'm recording this, so 2022. But also, besides gaining 1,400 followers in that amount of time, I also have a video on my TikTok that went, I would call semi-viral. And I call it semi-viral because it's not true viral. It's not like 1 million views or, several 100,000 views. But for my follower count at the time when I posted the video, which was, I think, around like, it was under 100, I think. Yeah, it was like 90 something at the time of posting. I could be mixing the numbers up, but I'm pretty sure it was like I had like some 40 followers or something like that on TikTok. And I posted this video and it went whoosh. Right when it got to 1,000, I was like, hey, nice. Okay, I like the view count. And then, fast forward couple weeks, it was at like 20,000, and it was like, yo, this thing is still growing like every day. And it was 30,000, and then it was 35, and it was 40, and it would rise, and then it would kind of plateau, and then it would like jump again, and then jump again over like, let's say, a weekend. And then right now, on today, the day that I got put in jail for that account, I'm on my 5th quote unquote community guidelines violation, which obviously I haven't really violated community guidelines at all. Not by any, things like that are never defined. The words have definitions that they use, but they don't actually define what these terms like, violation actually mean, like how far you have to go to cross the line into violation. It's all 100% whatever China wants to indoctrinate the minds of young Americans with is admissible, and what counters, information that counters that indoctrination agenda is censored, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, I'm on the receiving end of censorship. I'm put in TikTok jail for 3 days. And I'm not pissed about it. I mean, I'm kind of annoyed that I have to start up a backup account and that I have to try and restart my, journey, if you will, and finagle the algorithm, meaning I have to gain some momentum, gain a couple followers without posting anything political or against the agenda before I start that up again, so that I can kind of trick the algorithm. And then when I do post these things, it boosts me up, and I'll probably get another semi-viral, if not hopefully viral video. Let's say when I repost that exact video that went viral the first time. But I digress. I want to show you the videos, the 3 videos that stuck. So I got 5 community guidelines violations from TikTok, and I want to show you the 3 that stuck, because 2 of them, when I appealed them, they restored the video so it doesn't have any, restrictions on it, and then talk about why I think these things are not permissible on their app. So here we go. Oh, and since I'm getting them straight from TikTok, and they're not the raw files, they're the actual TikTok files. The background music and stuff is already on there, so in case this channel, well, let me say when this channel blows up, and I'm actually able to monetize this. I probably won't be able to monetize this particular video because this will have copyright strikes, copywritten music on it. So I don't own the rights to any of this music. I'm not trying to steal your music. It's just a feature that you can use on TikTok. What's up? Soul Expression here with hashtag Tell the Truth, and I just wanted to let all of you guys know that there is a new video up on the YouTube channel about misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Go check it out. All right, so obviously, this picture here is what got the short 20-second video striked with community guidelines violation that is not that did not pass the appeal process. This right here, this says Facebook BI, right? FBI colluded with FBI to suppress, and make Hunter Biden's laptop story disappear. This was admitted by him on Joe Rogan's podcast. He admitted it himself.
If something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less.
He said people could still share it, but it wasn't. It's what he say. It's basically when you clicked share, it didn't show up on people's news feeds, right? You click share, and it's like you just shared it to your own profile. And we know on Facebook, you don't go to people's actual pages anymore. You just wait to see what they post, to see what comes up on your news feed. That's why they call it scrolling, because you just scroll. You don't go to people's pages anymore. This isn't the beginning of Facebook. So anyway, he admitted to this. And then it says, Facebook Fauci conspired with Fauci to restrict and shape narrative around COVID, the efficiency of vaccine and mask. And I just read all of those words out loud. I wonder if this is going to get community guideline strike from YouTube. Anyway, so this is also obviously the truest. Like, this isn't even okay. It says conspired, right? But it defines what it says: to restrict and shape the narrative. What does that mean? It means when people were talking about ivermectin, it was you couldn't share it or your account may get banned. When it was talking about the fact that there was no testing on the safety, and the fact that the American people, as well as people in China and Africa, were being used as lab rats to see, to test this drug out, the jab. And I'm just saying all of the buzzwords to get me in trouble on YouTube. Anyway, the whole thing, if you posted something that suggested that you didn't like it, and you didn't like the fact that we were being treated as lab rats, and you didn't like the fact that we don't know if it actually is successful in stopping the transmission from one person to another of the virus, then you are at risk of losing your business account, and or your personal account may be restricted from sharing and other features on the website. So conspired with Fauci to restrict and shape the narrative. That's true. That's not false, and it doesn't violate any community guidelines that are worth their salt. And then it says Facebook funded. So funneled $419 million through left-wing progressive groups to influence the 2020 vote in the swing states. Now, I don't know if you guys, my audience, actually follows elections and looks into how elections were conducted, but in my video shown here, in this video, I talk a little bit about that the 2020 election and how there's some fishy stuff that went down. I won't go into that here because I don't want to bombard this with all of the, I don't want to make it too easy to get myself in trouble with YouTube as well as TikTok on the same day. But go watch this video. It'll give you, some insight into the fishy stuff that was going on. And again, this this number is true. This is what people were able to go see. It's a quick. Don't even search on Google. Search on DuckDuckGo, and you'll be able to find that this is 100% fact checkable, reliable information, and not hard to find. You don't have to go search the little tiny crevices on page 45 of your search engine to find valid information on it. So that is the first of the violations that I want to show you today. Here's the second. The energy crisis, the economy, the crime crisis, the racial divide, the LGBTQ attack on children, abortion, the drug epidemics, the hyperdependence on outside imports, the hyperdependence on outside energy, the decline in international relations. There are a few of these that we can hold debates on, but the vast majority of these issues, perpetuated by the left, exaggerated by the left, and made worse by the day by the left. Red Wave 2022, baby. All right. And I don't know if you caught it. It went by kind of fast. But matter of fact, before I even say it, go ahead and comment down below what exactly you think got this video banned. 3. I'm going to reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1. This quote right here. Now, I have no proof of this, but I believe that this is what it was, because I don't think any of the other things that I listed by itself singled out a group identity. I said the left a bunch of times, but even the left, I say the left in a whole bunch of videos, so that doesn't trigger the automatic community guideline strike. But this, on the other hand, the LGBTQ attack on children singles out the community LGBTQ. And I think that's what got this video a community guidelines ban. Why is that? Because China, or at least I'll say the Chinese heads of TikTok, want to indoctrinate American children to be soft, to be overly emotional and emotionally unstable and emotionally immature, and full of self-diagnosed mental illnesses, and dependent on drugs to function, and dependent on validation from adults that are not their parents. They want to break down the American family. They want America to be weak so that they, China, or the Chinese corporatocracy, especially those behind TikTok, can take over America eventually in their long-term agenda and their long-term plans. This is my opinion on what the agenda is. It makes complete sense to me. And especially if, like, I don't know if you guys know, but look into, and you know, Candace Owens actually speaks about this at length in one of her recent episodes from her own podcast. Look into the differences between the algorithm for Americans on TikTok and the algorithm, like the algorithm that's active for American users of TikTok, and the algorithm that's active for Chinese users of TikTok, for TikTok users in China. And you'll see immediately why a whole bunch of countries don't even allow this app. They don't allow this app to be in the app store in their country, a whole bunch of countries, because they have a different algorithm for us than they do for their own. For their own, you get a whole lot of educational echo chambers, you get useful information. Obviously, you get channels that praise and uplift the CCP, and that's what you get. In China, you get nationalism, which is like patriotism, basically being proud of where you're from. You get nationalism, not white nationalism or white supremacist nationalism or something like that, but you get actual nationalism, which is a good thing. You get math, you get science, you get inventions and technology, you get education, you get culture. But over here, the algorithm feeds you the LGBT attack on children. Not the words attack on children, but the actual attacks on children. You get the pronoun police and the people like this.
Exhausting. You are exhausting. I am a mother, you are a mother, we like to be called mothers, but not all people who have vaginas and uteruses identify as women, and that's okay. Using language that includes everyone is like a hug. What is wrong with your brain? I should get into musical theater.
No, you shouldn't. People like that is what, where am I? Oh, is what TikTok wants to push to our children and our young adults. So, and in case you're wondering what my problem is with that, my problem with that is, no, that's not language that includes everybody. That's language that excludes women and excludes the differences between men and women, because there are differences between men and women. Biological, sociological, psychological, and logical. There are just differences that are just different between men and women. And they're all connected. All of those differences are connected. Hence, you can't fully separate gender from biology. Now, this most recent violation of community guidelines that they gave me was from a video that was actually gaining some traction. I think it had, I don't know, like 400 or so views. And I had been getting shadow banned, so a lot of my videos, like I have few getting through, but many of them were kept around the 500 view count range or so, as my following keeps growing by the day, because I tell the truth and people resonate with the truth. But either way, the next video that I want to show you is particularly interesting because it deals with a current event. And I don't know exactly what got the strike, but, well, let's just check it out first and then talk about it.
Do you consent to going to war every year and then never winning? Well, even if you don't, you will. $54 billion invested in the war in Ukraine. $6.4 trillion invested in the war on terror since 2001. And over 45,000 deaths when you include death by suicide of the soldiers in that war on terror. $1 trillion invested in the war on drugs. Hint, hint, a lot more people on drugs. $5 trillion invested in the war on COVID. Wonder how that's going. And a whopping $22 trillion invested in none other than the war on poverty. I wonder who's winning that. Well, in short, we are always at war with something or someone. Why is that? Because without war, there would be no reason to launder trillions and trillions of dollars into the hands of the Democrats.
All right. Now, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this right here. It's a tweet from Tarbull 808. She said, was FTX being used to launder money for the Democratic Party? World Economic Forum, WEF, World Economic Forum sponsored FTX on their website, which has now been removed, and then shows the previous picture of the sponsorship of FTX on their website, and then shows that, you know, the page you were looking for is not here anymore. So that is not concrete proof, but it's very fishy, very suspicious, and very telling, right? It's pretty obvious if they took it off of their site after FTX crashed that that's exactly what was being done. And, you know, in terms of what I was saying throughout the video itself, I'm not really sure what would have gotten the violation. You know, I mean, it could be any of those things. Maybe because I said war on COVID, that could have, you know, gotten the strike initially, and then when somebody, a real human, who's on their evil team of controlling the narrative and censoring the truth, decided to look into it further, they probably saw the tweet at the end and said, nope, I don't want anyone to notice anything over there with the FTX. I mean, I don't know if you know, but mainstream media has been staying far, far away from this FTX scandal. Now, my good people, when I say mainstream media, hopefully you already know that what I mean is leftist mainstream media. Because on the right, we get stories like this on the mainstream media.
And history sure has a way of repeating itself, sometimes in bigger ways. The Democratic Party finds itself in the middle of the biggest financial fraud case in U.S. history. A cryptocurrency company, you know, like the Bitcoin things, just lost $2 billion of its customers' money. They didn't just lose it in the market, it's just gone. Someone stole it. And the company called FTX just went bankrupt after they blew up $32 billion. This is bigger than Bernie Madoff, but unlike Bernie Madoff, who was getting rich off a Ponzi scheme, the Democratic Party was getting rich off of FTX. Now, FTX came onto the scene in 2019, and it spent $10 million to put Joe Biden in the White House in 2020. And the guy running FTX, the second biggest Democrat donor in the midterms, after Soros, of course, spent $40 million to get Democrats elected. Wonder why someone like John Fetterman was able to raise as much as 4 times as much cash as Oz? Well, you can thank Sam Bankman-Fried, who ran this crypto scheme out of a penthouse in the Bahamas.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story.
Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion. And he wants to donate all of it to charity.
And the charity was the Democratic Party. Look at Sam right there behind George Soros. The John Fetterman of cryptocurrency, SPF, was just at the White House, actually. He got 2 closed-doors meetings with Biden's senior advisor in the spring, right around the time Biden was shipping billions to Ukraine. The funny thing is, Ukraine was an investor in FTX. You may be asking, why is a country in the middle of a war investing in crypto? Shouldn't they be buying weapons? Or, I mean, if they have to invest in anything, doesn't crypto sound a little risky for Zelensky? You wouldn't want an investment with a solid rate of return and years of stable growth? No. Zelensky thought he'd give it to a guy living in a tax haven, fresh out of college with funny hair. Well, when Democrats are sending you billions of dollars of weaponry, the least you could do is reward their favorite mega donor. And what did FTX do with the money Ukraine invested? Well, they plowed it right back into the Democratic Party. Democrats send money to Ukraine. Ukraine sends money to FTX, and FTX sends money to the Democrats' campaigns. Now, I don't know.
And podcasters keep talking about it, have kept talking about it since it came out. So, you know, it's a very big story. So I'm sure the leadership at TikTok knows exactly what was going on there and decided, hey, you know, maybe we don't want any information like that getting out. I digress. I don't know exactly what got the community guideline violation, but I think it was probably the tweet. I think it was probably the insinuation that it's weird that the World Economic Forum no longer shows on their website that they sponsor FTX, post the FTX, you know, coin crash and burn and disappearance or bankruptcy, whatever it's called, from the market. Now, this, you know, attack on the truth has not, you know, led to me wanting to quit in any way or to slow down in any way at all. But it does make me think like, okay, you know, how can I more strategically play the game until I'm too big to fail, right? Until I am too sought after to be forgotten if I'm shadow banned on all of these platforms. I do most of I built this myself, like this podcast. I do the research myself. I read myself. I'm not just fed things from a team of people. This is all me so far. And even when I do have a team, and I'm able to, you know, delegate some of the video editing and the mundane stuff to other people, I'll still be doing the research, you know, by myself. Although I do want to start a book club, so leave me a comment about that. But what this tells me is I gotta be smart before, like, I gotta be smart and truthful, right? It adds a layer to my approach. And that's pretty exciting. I mean, it's, you know, it's like a video game. It's like, okay, you know, in a video game, sometimes it'd be much easier to get the job done if you could just go past the boundary where the game doesn't allow you to go past. but you can't, right? It doesn't let you climb that border, that rock or whatever at the edge. It doesn't let you go around that tree. It doesn't let you go through those bushes. In some particular, you're left to some particular pathway, and you have to go that way and figure it out. So it's kind of exciting in that way, but it's also discouraging because something in me wishes that people weren't evil, right? I wish people weren't evil. And I'm not saying I don't have any evil in me at all. I'm saying that, I work every day to make sure that I don't do any evil things and I don't harbor any evil thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I do my best. I'm not perfect. But like, these people are completely evil. And I wish that wasn't so. So in that regard, in that sense, it's a little disheartening. Or not disheartening, it's a little discouraging. But, I say all this to say the Expression of Love podcast is still here, still moving strong, still unafraid. It's still fuck cancel culture. It's still facts over your feelings. Shout out to Ben Shapiro. It's still full steam ahead. And I have made a backup TikTok. So if you want to follow me on there, it's Expression of Love 2. The first one is Expression of Love. Again, the first one wasn't banned. It probably will be though, because I know once you stack up over a certain number of community violations, so-called community violation strikes, they permanently ban your account. So once I'm off of this 3-day jail on the platform and I'm posting again, it probably won't be too long before I, get a couple more strikes and they completely ban it. We'll see. I will try to be more strategic and play the game with more finesse and more strategy. Not less truth, just more intelligence. And in the meantime, you can go and follow both pages, Expression of Love and Expression of Love 2 on TikTok. Hope to see you there. Hope to see you in the comments on this video. Let me know if you have a different thought on why you think one or more of the videos was stricken with a community guidelines violation. And thank you all for listening. See you in the next one.
Expressions of